All right, guys. So I'm starting today's trade recap, and it's just like, holy fuck, I messed up. I won't lie. Today, one of those days where people just, you crash out, bro. And it's just like I hate these type of days, because again, it just wasn't one of those days where like I was following my system. It wasn't one of those days where I should have walked away after taking this L or this break even. I continued day in the market, trying to make more. I was angry. I was like, like I hit break even, or I hit like plus 100, and I was like, fuck, bro, I want more. Like it was that type of mentality, and just being a greedy boy, being a greedy man, and that messed me up, bro. Then I went to NQ, over leveraging. Went to ES again. I entered another ES trade. So first trade was ES, second trade was ES, third trade was NQ, and that was basically really it. Last trade was where we just blew the whole fucking account. Not really blew the account, but like we're blew towards like the PDL, or the daily loss limit. Basically our maximum daily loss limit hit. I'm just so angry, bro. I'm really fucking angry, dude. Because again, like, bro, I need to calm. Hold on, I'll be back. I need to calm down real quick. Not really too mad no more. Just went for a little stroll around the house and just calm down, But yeah, today we took 3 trades. We lost 2 on ES, 1 on NQ. Let me show you guys that real quick. So first trade was around here. I'm not gonna lie, bro, like we really got a bad fill on this one. And let me just show you 850.00, and then we hit out for around 852, so like only 2 points really. 25, so we hit break even. And then we took a second trade. This was a gamble, I won't lie. This one right here, 848, really just at the bottom, just being greedy. And then our stop level was at 853.75, and then we got stopped out. And then eventually we took one on NQ, which was right here. We took a buy. Again, just top ticking, bro. Like not even following my rules. So I just got humbled today. I won't even lie. Oh, I hate seeing that. I won't lie for some reason. I won't lie. I almost took off the daily loss limit, and then I was just finna trade even more. But then I stopped myself. I won't lie. I'm glad I stopped myself, because I would have done more damage. This trade, I won't lie. Let's go over this one first. I'm gonna have to journal these for sure. All right, 5-minute time frame, 5-minute. This is just clear. It wasn't even an inversion for other yet though. That's the thing. It was still yet to get inverse. And I traded it like it was already inverse, so that's why I bought. Again, the momentum. I was like, okay, hold on. After seeing this wick right here, this rejection, for all this right here, I was like, all right, hold on. This looks nice. If the market wanted to sell off, it would have sold off around here and broke below those lows. But now we're rejecting, and now we're likely to push up higher, break above. And I was just aiming for a clear target. Like this high up here was my clear objective, but we never really met it. So then eventually I was trailing the stop loss once we were facing a little bit of a drawdown. We entered here. Stop loss was right down here, and then I eventually started to trail it. Either way, I would have got hit out for the daily loss limit. And then eventually on ES, this just is like not even following the model. We had no SMT. We had none of that. Even then, it's like probably a fractal SMT. Yeah, we really didn't have any SMT there. The market is just chopping around, really waiting for nothing, for being truly honest. And first trade on ES was really, really good. This was really, really good. But we would have got hit break even, sad, unfortunate. Even if we had the stop loss still at break even, we would have got hit break even. The market eventually did make this inverse, not really push up higher, break above these highs, and then continue to the upside. It was more of a just back and forth range day on ES, while NQ was a lot more strong and displacing to the upside. And then YM was the market I was watching for today. The 5-minute PD right here was something I was watching, but eventually once we inversed it, it was all the way up here already, and I just didn't want to have any risk for this type of setup, like I didn't like how we made that inverse. On the 3-minute though, this would have been more of a better setup, in my opinion, to reach this high up here, the 930 high. But yeah, today was just a very, very slow range bound day. But back to ES, this short right here was on the 5-minute, based on the 5-minute. 5-minute was what? Disrespecting the Sibi. I was like, okay, hold on. We're better get this inverse. We sweep above the highs. We're likely going to have that higher time from SMT right here, backing us up with NQ and ES. And then, next just boom, wicks me all the way back up. The better entry would have been just taking those longs, taking longs down here. But clearly. This is why it's so important to follow your rules. You know, like if one of my rules is one trade a day. That first trade should have been it. That should have been my day right there. Calling it a day after that, walking away. It's barely 10:30, bro. Like the market is dead already. You know, like there's not much movement going on. I hate when I trade like this, bro, because it happens when you don't follow your rules. You know, like when you don't have that one trade set in stone, and then boom, you crash out. But today was just a very slow day when I expected it to be, you know, more volatile, expected more everything, but it just didn't happen, you know. Again, this trade wasn't really bad. I just didn't put it on. I didn't put on enough risk. I just bought one contract and my stop was all the way down here, you know, and I just didn't like that, you know. I wanted to see, you know, more speed, because again, I didn't have more risk. If I had more risk, you know, like if I was actually like having good risk, you know, my stop loss would have been down here, you know, below this fair leg up, just a little bit below. It wouldn't have to been like all the way down here, you know, like 10 points, 11 points. It would have been like around 7. You know, next time just sizing up a little bit and just taking that, you know, because then eventually we could have just aimed for a clear target up here, you know. Even if it's a negative R, I'm cool with that. But even then, that's not cool, you know. Now we're dropping. Now we're dropping, baby. Now we're dropping. Now it's pushing down lower. Now we're stuck inside of a range. We're not really moving. And again, just being emotional. That's another thing too. Like we were just being very, very emotional whenever we were trading. Especially the second and third trade. The first trade was really good. I wasn't really emotional. You know, I saw the sweep. This is key right here. Let me turn off these executions though. So we saw the sweep. We saw this inversion for early gap. And then we also had this change in the state of delivery. And I was like, okay, hold on. This looks nice. Market looks like it's likely have the potential to the upside. And yeah, we just drew that out. Standard deviations. I eventually went to the 5-minute. I was like, okay, the 5-minute has better standard deviations. And I was targeting up here. This was my clear target for the first trade. Again, I wasn't risking much. So this like was something like this. It was a 1 to 2 like that. So this was the original stop loss, and then this was the take profit. So it was like this, basically. Not a bad setup, honestly, you know? Not a bad setup for longs, especially on ES. Now we're dropping, though. Looks nice. Move lower doesn't look bad, honestly. So then I'm just move up higher. But again, my other account, I locked it out as soon as I opened, bro. As soon as I opened the market, I opened and I closed the account. I was like, all right, yeah, we're not trading that one, all right? And yeah, that was basically really it. The setups, just being emotional, bro. I have the live recording. We can pull that up real quick. So let's pull that up. Let's see. I was really, really emotional. I won't lie. It was bad. Let's mute it. Live recording. So let's see if we have. So we have this setup right here. I was just doing really, really good in terms of like holding it and managing the position. I already went break even here on the, you know, on the 15 once we broke above these highs, and we're having strong displacement here with like 1, 2, 3, 4 candles right here showing straight continuation. My original target was what, 287. So let's look at the stop loss. Stop loss when I first entered was, look, let's see. I only did 1 con too. I was gonna buy 2. You know, I thought about it. I was like, all right, this doesn't look bad. I might buy 2 cons. And my issue is entering a little bit too late today. Not entering when I should have. You know, after this candle closures, when we enter, don't hesitate. Hesitation, you know, creates bad stuff. So I was still scanning, I was still looking, and then eventually I decided to buy later on. Where's it at? Right there. You can see what stop loss placement was all the way down here. Watch, see what number it was on. Again, just really, really late, barely noticing. It's like more of a FOMO entry. All the entries were FOMO, I won't lie. So then boom, stop loss was at 80 40, 10 points basically. We entered at 50. Yeah, 10 points. And yeah, I think we could have aimed for 10 points just for a 1-to-1, bro. That would have not been bad either. If we would have just aimed for 10 points, yeah, we would have not got it. This is 10 points right here. We entered at 50, we would have got 60. Now we just never got it. Unfortunate. And then eventually you can see here we were just managing the position really well. We're just waiting for our drawn liquidity up there, that high, which eventually was met. It was like a clear 1 hour target, and I just got greedy. You know, I got greedy. I didn't have enough risk. I was like, all right, hold on. And then eventually I tried the stop loss to break even here, further in profit. I mean, not break even. I was already at break even. I ain't probably. I can't even fucking talk. aim for this objective, and I trailed my stop in profit and just let the trade run. We met my objective. That would have been 287. I would have had that 150 plus dollar day, and then just slowly climbing my way out of drawdown instead of just now in further drawdown, bro. Like fuck, you know. And then eventually, yeah, the market starts going even up, even higher. And again, the profit is 350. It's not bad, bro. Like taking those small base hits of like 300, 400 is not bad. You know, like I don't know why. I just like I want to get out of this drawdown so bad, but in reality, bro, like it's like, bro, take your base hits when the market is moving like this and you have a good setup, but the market just isn't willing to offer you anymore. Like it's range bound or like you're just like in bad conditions. Take your base hits, bro. Don't aim for like the whole meat of the move when the market is not moving like how it's supposed to, or it's just having low volume. And then eventually you can see the market comes back up. Again, I'm on the second time frame. I scale back up to the 1 and then the 5. And then, you know, I'm drawing my lines, my confluences. I trail my stop loss in profit even further at this 1 minute fair value gap low. This intermediate term low where we swept this short term low, created an intermediate term low. I thought to myself, you know, like if the market is coming back down, it should not reach this low. You know, we should respect it, push up higher, just having bullish order flow, clear bullish order flow. And then next, you know, we get stopped out. Right around here. It moves pretty quick. I won't lie. I can't catch it. Let's see if I can catch it. So yeah, we move pretty quickly, and then we just get stopped out. Just boom. So we have this 1 minute buy sign balance. We're not gonna hold it though, clearly, because we get stopped out. And then the market drops here. Boom, we're moving lower, and then boom, weak me out. And this is where I go on the 5 minute, and then I look for shorts. See, I see the 5 minute. I'm like, hold on, I'm locked in here. I know you can't see my face, but I'm locked in. I'm like, all right, enter shorts, and then boom, instantly I get wicked out. I'm like, damn, did I just get a FOMO entry? I literally even start talking about it. This might be an emotional trade, I won't lie. See? This might be an emotional trade, I won't lie. So yeah, I even knew it was an emotional trade, and then eventually I scaled down to the second time frame, start trailing my stop even further because I don't want to get stopped down, and then eventually I get stopped down. Right around here. I just closed it actually. I'm like, damn, fuck that, you know? I was about to enter long. See, I was about to click the buy button, but I was like, nah, hold on. We gotta chill. We gotta chill. I was about to, bro, and I think that would have been the better decision, honestly. Instead of just waiting on NQ, we should have just bought on ES right back to back, and then boom, we bought on NQ. Another emotional trade, bro. We're not even following our system, and I even knew it too, you know, like when I took this trade, I was being way too locked in on my emotions, and logic was out the door. There was no logic behind these trades. I was not even thinking straight any further, you know, and you can see I was just trailing my stop loss further and further in profit. I was on the 1 second time frame. That's how you know I was cooked, you know. I'm managing my position on the 1 second time frame. I'm cooked because I didn't even want to scale up to the 1 minute because that's how bad it was. Because that's how bad I was. Like I knew I was gonna get stopped out. I just knew it. I didn't even want to look at the position. I should just close it for $80 loss, you know, instead of like going for like a 300, 400 plus loss, you know. And you know, boom, market is range bound, you know, like we're not really moving. I should have just closed it for like 100, bro. You know, like a small loss, walked away with like a $200 day loss. Again, just in the hundreds, we could have closed it here, but then we let it run and the market stopped us out. And I even turned off I was about to go crazy, bro. But then I realized, you know, I was like, all right. When I went back on the charts, I was like, damn, is this worth it? You know, like, is it worth any further, like doing more damage to my account? You know, like I want to, you know, not do that. And I thought about it. I was like, I looked at ES. I looked at everything. I was like, all right, this doesn't look good. The market doesn't look good. I went back, put it back on there. And I was like, yeah, let's just call it a day. You know, like just be disciplined, you know, and stick our L to the chin, you know, like a man. And then that's basically really it. And it's so unfortunate too, because like I would have just stuck to the first trade and aimed for that base hit, would have been at negative 700. That's like 1.5 R, risking 1%, and we're at a drawdown. That's not bad, bro. That's not bad. That's doable. We can get it out of it. Now we're further in drawdown. We're at 1,500. We need a 3R trade instead of a 1.5 R just to get out of drawdown. But again, I'm so focused on the P&L and trying to get out of drawdown and trying to do this, trying to do that I'm not even really like focusing on the system and the trades and the quality of the trades. You know, like it's one of those days where like, or it's like one of those situations and mindsets where you know what you're doing wrong and you know what you need to do right, but you continue to allow your emotions to dictate like logic and reason. Like I'm getting greedy. I'm aiming for more. I'm under risking. I'm afraid. I'm not really following the rules of the system in terms of like after taking one trade, you close the account, and you aim for your target, your drawn liquidity, and then simple stuff like that compounds, that ruins your mental, bro. Instead of that $100 day, we could have aimed for a $250 day, if not like $300 day or some shit. Like we could have had better. We could have had more. Again, the original target was this 1 hour high, and we met that 1 hour high later on, and this would have not been bad. It would have been a little bit more than 200, like around like half of that, around like what like 250 is 5 points, maybe a little bit more, like 300 something. That's not bad, bro. Instead of aiming for that 1K, trying to get out of that drawdown, blah blah blah, those days will come, and again, I know I can get out of this drawdown, but it's days like this where I can't. Basically, like days like this create the drawdown, and they further deepen those bad beliefs and emotions, and habits. That's why for the next account, bro, like I'm only risking 0.5%. I'm not going for 1% no more, only 0.5%. And again, it's just discipline. Being disciplined is key in trading, bro. Like if I was on a combine, or back then when I was on the combine for the month of November, like the first half, I would have took my break-even day. I would have walked away like a man, took my break-even day instead of trying to make more and like losing eventually, I would have took my break-even. Market never gave me what I wanted. Boom, close my account, walk away, be disciplined, go do my other stuff I have to do. But no, I was just here sitting down, trying to make more, trying to like get out of this drawdown, trying to make some money, trying to get a payout, trying to like prove it to myself. When in reality, bro, like all it takes is just discipline and consistency, and that's how you get out of this drawdown. And it really made me mad because again, today it should have not been a minus $500 day. It should have been my plus 250 max, plus 250 or plus $300 day, or if not break even day, plus 100, because we've tried to stop in profit. We would have just took our little profit and that's it, walked away. Slowly and closely getting out of that drawdown. Now we're either one or two scenarios. Tomorrow I either blow my account or I get out of, like half of this drawdown, real shit. Like we either go back to like negative, or we go like to negative 3 figures, or we blow the account. One of the two scenarios are going to happen. I can dictate which one is likely going to happen by the decisions and the quality of my decisions. And it's simple as that, So that's basically really it. Again, second account, we still have it. I'm going to continue to lock it out. And if, we blow this one, we've learned what not to do going into the next one. And it's simple as that. So that's basically really it. Getting out of drawdown is one of the hardest things to deal with. I won't lie. It's one of the hardest. You have to have such mental strength to get out of drawdown. And whenever you do, the mental resilience that comes after is untouchable. So that's all I'm going to say. And that's basically really it for today's trade recap. Very, very unfortunate. I'm going to have to journal this. My emotions wise too, I'm going to have to like really reflect upon my emotions and what I've done today regarding this live trading session. I'm going to have to like review it, analyze it, see what I was thinking, why, journal it, and that's basically really it. So yeah, I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.